Okay guys, for the blueberry streusel coffee cake that we're going to make today, we are going to use an 11 by 11 cake pan, okay? This normally calls for a 9 by 9, but I didn't have one, so we're just going to improvise and use this. And I do have it greased and lined with parchment paper. If you don't have parchment paper, just grease it and flour it so your cake doesn't stick. Okay, we have, for the dry ingredients, we have 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And that's our dry ingredients. Now for the rest of it, we're going to need 2 cups of sugar, 1 whole egg, a 1/2 cup of butter, unsalted butter, 1 cup of milk, a 1/4 teaspoon of almond extract, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And here I have 2 cups of blueberries and 1 cup of roasted pecans. We're going to roast and we're going to chop up. Okay, so we're going to get started with our mixing our dry ingredients, and we're going to preheat our oven to 375 degrees. Okay guys, for the pecans, this is 1 cup of pecans, and I'm going to put them over a medium to high heat, and we're going to toast them in the skillet. You can do this in the oven, but I like to do it here because it's just quicker. And as soon as you start to smell them, because you will smell the aroma of the pecans, you just give them a little shake, or shake them however. Just make sure they don't burn on you. And this takes about 5 or 6 minutes. It depends on how high you have the heat. So we're just gonna wait for these to toast, and then we're gonna chop them up. Okay, the first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna take all our dry ingredients. So here I have the flour, the baking powder, the cinnamon, and the salt, and we're just going to give this a little mix just to make sure everything's incorporated and we don't end up with just one big old patch of cinnamon. Okay, we're going to set this aside. See, everything's incorporated, so we're going to set this aside and start with our wet ingredients. So for our wet ingredients, what we're going to do is we're going to take our sugar and our butter, and I'm going to do this by hand. You don't need a mixer for this. We're just going to break this up, cream this together. So we're just going to cream this together just so it's real nice and light. After we get this incorporated, then we can use our whisk. Okay, now we're going to add our egg, our vanilla extracts. There's the almond. There's the vanilla. Okay, I switched back over to the whisk because I want to show y'all how creamy. Okay, and that's going to be it for this. Now we're going to chop the pecans next so we can have them ready for the next step. Okay, we roasted our pecans, and I'm just going to use my chopper. If you don't have one, you can just do this with a knife. You don't want them too fine or too big, just a medium. I put it on the chop setting and pulse it a couple of times. I could smell these pecans because of the roasting. Okay, just like that. Let me show you. Just like that. No smaller than that, otherwise you lose the texture. Okay, now the next step, what we do is we add the flour. In about 3, we add the flour, we mix it in, we add a little bit of the milk, about half of the milk. We add some more flour, the rest of the milk. As soon as it takes it, I add the rest, because you don't want to overbeat this or mix it. And I put the blueberries last because I don't want them to stain the color of the mix, and I am using frozen. You can use fresh or frozen. Okay, now I'm going to add the pecans and the blueberries. And as you can see, they will stain your hands, so you don't want to move it around too much because otherwise you'll have purple cake batter. And that's it. Okay, now we are going to put it into our pan. Okay, now we take an offset spatula and we press this down. And we're going to make the streusel topping now for the top. Try to get it even. Okay, let me get the stuff together for the topping and I'll be right back. For the streusel topping, what I have is a half a cup of sugar, a third of a cup of all-purpose flour, and a quarter of a cup of butter cut into very small cubes. And I had it in the freezer just so that it won't melt and it stays. So we're gonna put our sugar, our flour, give that just a little mix, and we're gonna break in the butter. I am going to use this pastry cutter. If you don't have one, you can just use 2 forks. It works just as well. Okay, we're going to incorporate it till it looks crumbly. Okay, and if the butter starts getting stuck on your cutter, I just scrape it off. Make sure everything gets in there. Okay, and that's it. Now we're just going to sprinkle it over our cake and get this in the oven. It's going to cook for about 20-25 minutes. If it was in the smaller pan, it's going to take a little bit longer. It'll take about 30 to 35 minutes. But you check your cake starting at about 20 minutes because everybody's oven is different. Okay, it smells awesome. Blueberry is one of my favorite. Leave me in the comments below what's your favorite coffee cake flavor. Okay guys, I'm going to put it in the oven and I'll be back when it's done. Okay guys, the cake is out. It was in the oven for 40 minutes actually. I'm going to do the toothpick test to see if it's ready. And the streusel is nice and crunchy and it comes out clean, so it's ready. Okay, we're going to let this cool for about 10 to 15 minutes before we pull it out of this tin, before we cut it. Okay, so we want to let it cool completely and we'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, I'm going to give you a close-up shot so you can see what this looks like. It smells delicious. Okay guys, I'll be back in a while. The cake has been cooling. I transferred it over to the cooling rack and now I'm just going to take it off so we can cut a piece and you can see what it looks like. Okay, I'm just going to cut small pieces. The streusel's very nice and crunchy. I'm going to take a piece from the middle and a corner piece. There you go. It's real nice and soft. And then the back, see how it's nice and toasty? And you can see all the blueberries. Okay guys, that's gonna conclude the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel and like our page on Facebook at Virtual Kitchen with Laura. Thank you guys for watching my videos and for all your support. Please leave a comment below. It helps my channel and my page get recognized by other people and puts us on the recommendation list. Okay guys, talk to y'all later. Bye.